Hello students, greetings to one and all. So in this video we are going to again continue with the same chapter, that is the Happy Prince, and this is going to be the part 3 of the same chapter. The video, as you all know, that video has been segregated into several parts. Okay, so in this part we are going to start off from this paragraph, that is then the swallow flew back. So let us quickly revise what happened before this. This swallow, it took that ruby out from the sword's hilt and it flew to the old women's house. Okay, and then it left the ruby there and it flew back to the prince. So when it flew back to the prince, what happened after that? Let us see. Then the swallow flew back to the happy prince and told him what he has done. It is curious, he remarked, but I feel quite warm, although it's so cold. So this swallow, after doing such a beautiful act of kindness, said that he's kind of feeling quite warm from inside. He's feeling quite good because he have done such a wonderful deed. Okay, so despite being cold outside, the swallow said that he's feeling very warm. This is because you've done some good action, said the prince. And the little swallow began to think and then fall asleep. Thinking always made him sleepy. So thinking always made this bird sleepy. When day broke, he flew down to the river and had a bath. Tonight I go to Egypt, said the swallow, and he was in high spirits at the prospect. So he was in high spirits, means he was quite a lot determined that he has to leave anyhow for Egypt today. He visited all the monuments and sat a long time on the top of the church steeple. Okay, so he visited all the monuments of the city, and he also sat for the long time on the top of the church steeple. Now what is a church steeple? The conical structure that you see at the top of the church. The conical structure that you see at the top of the church, okay, where at the top you also see a cross sign, that is known as the steeple of the church. When the moon rose, he flew back to the happy prince in order to say goodbye. Have you any commission for Egypt? So have you got any goodies for Egypt? Because he knew that this prince is helping the poor, so he might even help the people out in Egypt. So therefore he said, have you got any goodies for Egypt? He cried, I am just starting. Swallow, little swallow, said the prince, will you stay with me one more night longer? So he is now requesting the swallow to hold back for one other night. Swallow, little swallow, said the prince, far away across the city I see a young man in a garret. Garret means a small dark room. Small dark room, that is a garret. He's leaning over a desk covered with papers, and the glass by his side there is a bunch. And in the glass by his side there's a bunch of withered roses. Withered means dull or dead. Violets, sorry, not roses, violets. His hair is brown and crisp, and his lips are as red as pomegranate, and he has large and dreamy eyes. He's trying to finish a play for the director of the theatre, but he is too cold to write anymore. But he's too cold because too cold over here means cold, but as well as over here it means that he's kind of the temperature outside is very cold, so he's kind of feeling very cold to write down anything. There is no fire in the garret, and hunger has made him faint. Faint means over here sleepy. I'll wait for you one night longer, said the swallow, who really had a good heart. He asked if he should take another ruby to the young playwright. Alas, I have no ruby now, said the prince. My eyes are all that I have left. They are made up of sapphires which were bought out of India 1,000 years ago. He ordered the swallow to pluck out one of them and take it to the playwright. He will sell it to the jeweler and buy firewood and then finish his play, he said. Dear prince, said the swallow, I cannot do that. And I began to weep. Swallow, little swallow, said the prince, I do as I command you. As I order you, do as I'm saying. I want you to do whatever I'm saying. So the swallow plucked out the prince's eye and flew away to the young man's garret. It was easy enough to get in, as there was a hole in the roof. Through this he darted and came into the room. The young man had his head buried in his hands, so he did not hear the flutter. Flutter means the sound made by the wings, by the movement of the wings, of the bird's wings. And when he looked up, he found a beautiful young sapphire lying on the withered violets. So now, as it was extremely cold and this playwright was feeling extremely cold and he was fainting, and he wasn't able to write anything. So this prince, he told the swallow to please take the sapphire. Remember, his eyes were made up of sapphires, a very precious stone. So he told the bird to take the sapphires and give it to the playwright, because he will be able to sell the sapphire to the jewelers, and then he will be able to buy him some wood, or he would be able to buy himself some wood, which will keep him warm during these extremely cold days. I am beginning to be appreciated, he cried. This is from some great admirer. Now I can finish my play. And he looked quite happy. So this man, the playwright, he looked quite happy, and he said that now I'll definitely be able to finish my play. The next day, the swallow flew down to the harbor. He sat on the mast. Mast means the front part of the large vessel, means over here ship, and watched the sailors working. I am going to Egypt, cried the swallow, but nobody minded, and when the moon rose he came back to the happy prince. I have come to bid you goodbye, he cried. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince, will you not stay with me one night longer? It is winter, answered the swallow, and the snow will soon be here. In Egypt the sun is warm on the green palm trees, and the crocodiles lie in the mud, look lazily about them. So he says it's quite cold in here and it's warm in Egypt, so therefore I want to go to Egypt, because my friends and everyone out there in Egypt are having a ball of a time. They are having a very good time out there. So in the square below, said the prince, there stand little match girl. She has let her matches fall in the gutter, and they are all spoiled. His father will beat her if she does not bring home some money. She's crying. She has no shoes, no stockings, and her little head is bare. Bare means over here without any cap, exposed. Exposed over here to make it easy, without a cap. Pluck out my other eye and give it to her, and her father will not beat her. So now the first sapphire was given to the playwright, and the second sapphire is the second sapphire is now being given to a match girl who is extremely poor, and she's kind of scared because she had dropped all the matches that she had bought down to sell in the gutter, and she is worried that her father is going to beat her when she reaches back home for the loss that she has caused. Okay, I will stay with you one night longer, said the swallow, but I cannot pluck your eye. You would be quite blind then. Swallow, little swallow, said the prince, do as I command you. So he plucked out the prince's other eye and darted down with it. He swooped past the match girl and slipped the jewel into the palm of her hand. With a lovely bit of what a lovely bit of glass, cried the little girl, and she ran home laughing. So now this happy prince had made 3 people happy. He had rescued 3 people out of the troubles that they were in. Okay, first one being the old women, second one being the playwright, and third one being this match girl. Okay, so we'll stop this lecture over here, and then we'll see what happens next in the upcoming video. So as of now we're going to pause, we'll go through all the videos very carefully, and we meet up in the next video. Thank you.